All right, so it's about done. All that's left is to do the side-by-side comparison, but before we do that, we should clean this up a bit. And before we clean this up, we should do two things. First, save what we've done. Remember how I had a 0, 1 at this? I'm now going to go file. So I have file saved. There's a Control S on my keyboard. I'm going to go file save as this time and increment this up. That just was a fancy term of saying add 1 to the end there. Boop. So I've now got 4-Greenberg-Eric-02. Boom. Save. Do you want to maximize compatibility? Fine. Okay, so what do I mean touch it up? Well, a couple of things. I'm going to get rid of this unused mask here because that's just dead space. No reason to have that. I'm going to go ahead and name these things, and we'll call this what was everything? Oh, you know what? I accidentally deleted my vibrance entirely. I did not want that, and that's another good reason to save first. Layer visibility save as. So this is interesting. I actually have this vibrance all the way at the bottom. I thought I had it higher than that. So that's something to watch out for, and not a problem you'll have if you have your window brought all the way up. I actually like the vibrance at the top. That's where I intended it to have it. So I'm going to move that up. Clipping mask, clip. Notice I lost my clipping masks, my clipping. There we go. So a problem you will not have if you just extend your layer palette out. So I'm going to go ahead and break this off real quick. So we're doing these adjustments. All right. Clip. Yeah, for some reason, I swear, didn't I just drag this to the top? All right, so I've got vibrance at the top. Okay, so let's do a quick comparison just for ourselves. Oh, I'm not using these two sky colors anymore. See how bad they are now? Let's throw those away. I'm going to quickly turn off all the eyeballs. Change the visibility there. There it is before. There it is after. Okay, this mask, I forgot to throw it away. Let's throw away the mask. Delete the layer mask. Yes. Okay, so we just got the vibrance. Nice. So we got the vibrance. We've got hue and saturation. Overall, everything's looking pretty good. So I'm going to call this overall vibrance, or all over, I guess, vibrance. Did I only have one vibrance? Maybe I deleted my vibrance. I thought I had two of these. So notice I'm already super confused. So what am I going to do? I'm going to close it. Don't save. And I'm going to open up the one that I saved before I started mucking around with it. All right. I guess I only had the one vibrance. I could have sworn. Okay, well, not a problem. I'm still going to use this one. So if you guys get lost like I just did, because you've been working out for hours non-stop while recording and rendering out videos and, you know, drinking a nice glass of ice water between takes and you just lost track of what you're doing, that's why you want to save multiple copies. All right, save as. I'm going to replace the 02, maximize compatibility. I think vibrance looks better at the top, but before we do anything, clip all of these to what's below, because what's below is the edited photo. Throw away the extra sky colors because we're not using those. How does vibrance look above everything else? I think it looks fine above everything else. I'm going to call it all over vibrance now. Even I, the great and amazing Eric, can get lost when I forget to label things. So make sure you label stuff. All over vibrance. And we'll call it front of building hue and sat. And we'll call this, come on, front of building curves. And we'll call this, wouldn't this have been good to have done before? So hopefully you're watching these videos before you just dive in. Go ahead and label as you go. It'll make your life so much easier. We'll call this dock curves. We'll call this, come here, dock hue and saturation. And we'll call this sky curves. Sky curves. And we'll call this, come on, there we go. House front, actually hue and saturation house front's fine. Hue and saturation trees is fine. This is, looks like trees curves. It'd probably be better to be more consistent and have everything say either what it is, like curves or hues or saturation first and where it is, or, you know, where it is and what it is, but not a mix match. So I'm just going to put what it is or where it is and then what it is, since that's about the naming convention going on for the rest of it. Now it's front. Trees, curves. So this is lake and mountains, hue and saturation. Lake and mountains, hue and saturation. If you got typos, don't worry. So you can see I misspell things all the time, and that's just life. I've gotten much worse at that as I program more and more, because I have to make up insane variable names and I start to lose track of what real words look like. So sometimes that's just life. Okay, so I'm going to save because everything's looking great. And in fact, I'm going to save once with all these labeled, and I'm going to save on another copy. I know. I got the hard drive space. Now's a good time for me to say the rant again. I think I've said it at least once so far this semester. Be cautious if you are saving to a flash drive directly. Those things are only good for a few 100,000 rewrites, and then they burn out and you lose data. I've seen it happen. It's so upsetting. You don't want it to happen to you. Don't let it happen to you. So make sure you save somewhere else, and then you save to the flash drive afterwards. You know, just drag and drop. Only if you absolutely must should you save directly to a flash drive. One thing, now that I'm over here, let's look at this hue and saturation real quick. This vibrance real quick. I'm going to pump this up to 100% on this brush. Is it? Nah, it's looking okay. I thought it might be overdoing it. Wait, I swear I keep getting rid of this. I keep forgetting to delete the layer mask. Go ahead. Okay. All right, good. So everything's set. We've saved it in case something goes terribly wrong. So now what? Once you're satisfied with the results, I am satisfied with the results. If I look at it tomorrow, I'll probably see more I need to do. So, you know, such is life. But for now this is good. I am satisfied with the results. Go ahead and go to image canvas size. Now keep in mind, image canvas size, that's different from image size. Canvas size will affect the overall work of everything. So I'm just going to set it to the right anchor point. And okay, this is 10 inches by 10 inches. That's easy. I'm going to do percent, because what if I had 7.8951 inches? Like, how would I double that? Get out the calculator and now just go percent. And now I can just make the width 200%. And now it'll be double the width, because it's percentages. Cool. Tell it okay. And now I've got stuff on one side, and hey, why did this automatically expand? Because this is a color adjustment layer. If you made a filled background layer instead, it would not stretch out, and you need to refill it at this point. Since I use the color adjustment layer, I'm fine. I don't have to worry about it. Everything is nice and full and takes up less memory space. Life's good. All right. That said, remember earlier on, I said you need to lock some stuff together. What was I talking about? Well, that's what I was talking about. I'm going to click on edited photo, and I'm going to click on the move tool. I'm just going to move it. Look at this weird ghosting effect. What just happened? What is going on? Well, the layer masks aren't moving with it, even though the adjustment layer is clipped to it. So in other words, all the adjustments are happening, but this is what it would look like if we didn't have the right layer masks in order. It would look terrible. So what I'm going to do is click on edited photo, scroll all the way up to the top of the layers, and then shift click on the topmost one. Okay, now they're all selected. That means if I press this link layers icon at the bottom of the layers palette, boop, all of them will have a link when I click on any one of them. But if I click on something that's not linked, you won't see it. So what's all that mean? It means that they'll move as one. So if I move this over, oh, look at that. Now it's not doing weird, gross stuff. You can see the masks shifting around. That's what that means. So before I move stuff, though, where am I supposed to put this? Move the original photo layer to the right. So that means that the edited will be on the left. So if you mix that up, don't worry. As long as you've labeled them, I'll figure it out. Wow, striking. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. I'm going to press F on the keyboard a couple of times. That will put me in full screen mode. This is actually called presentation mode. Tap Z for zoom and just scrubby zoom in so we can all see this. And look at that. look at that improvement. Over on the right, we have the original. Over on the left, we have our working copy. Now keep in mind there's still more we could do. I'm still not super happy with how these trees came out. I think that it could have worked out a little bit better. I really like the crystal clearness of the water, but I feel as though the sky could have more going on it. It's just so fragile that sometimes you have to, within the constraints that you're given, make sacrifices. Now, if I were doing this for something else, there are tools we could use and adjustments we could use for recoloring the sky. And we'll deal more with that later in the semester. But for now, these are the techniques and tools that I've shown you. I don't expect you to go any further. And if you're having problems with the hue saturation, don't worry about it. If you really want to use it, ask me and I'll do a quick video on it or something. But we'll touch on that later. I'll go more into depth on how the whole hue saturation thing works. For now, just the on-screen edit and messing with those controls a little bit should be sufficient. All right, I think that this looks pretty good. So what's the last thing I'm going to do? Well, first I'm going to save. And I've got tons of memory space. So I'm going to save as one more iteration. And again, I don't have this in front of me. Go check on the class website how big I want this, what constraints. And remember, don't upscale. If you upscale, you're going to get weird stuff. If you did it, it happened. Don't worry about it. Move on with your life. What you want to do is start big and downscale. So let's say that I requested 72 pixels per inch. I don't know if that's what I want, because I don't have it up on my screen right now. I don't remember. Go look it up on the website. But what I'm going to do is just, as a demonstration, show you how to resize it to 72 pixels per inch. So I'm going to go to image size, and I'm going to set it from resolution 300 to 72. Notice that it still has the same width and height, but the dimensions, the number of pixels went from 6,000 by 3,000, which is massive, to just 1440 by 720. And notice that the image size went from 51 megabytes to about 3. It's okay. I'm going to double click the magnifying glass. This is how big it will be. That's gradable. And look, it covered up some of the crispiness. But keep in mind, because we downsampled, if I alt click, our masks have altered. Now, sometimes that will be okay. Sometimes it'll be a little crispy. So you might actually want to resize this to the sizes that I specify first. And if you have any questions about that, do post to the class so that we'll know. And I'm paranoid. I suddenly can't remember because I've been doing this for like a few hours now. I'm going to just save one more and call this 5. There we go. So I've got 5. Don't leave it looking like this. I can't see what that is. Click on it. Save it. This looks great. This is good to go. Time to turn that in on Canvas. Great job, class. Thanks for sticking with me through all of these videos. I'm going to roll back and do the introductory video now at this point. So while this is the last one you're watching for this week, it is not the last one I'm doing. I've got one more to go. So count yourselves lucky. You're all finished. You in the future. Next week, I believe I've got brushes lined up, which should be fun. This is especially nice if you have a Wacom tablet. But if you've got a mouse, this is also super useful and super important because there are a lot of settings that people tend to ignore and neglect. And because of that, they don't get the best results they can get. So we're going to go over that next week. Meanwhile, congratulations again. Don't forget to upload this. I need it to grade it. And I will catch you on the flip side, which is now an antiquated saying because that was originally when DJs were flipping between discs. That was the time they could talk to you. But anyway, catch you on the flip side.